Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and attention coach, 𝐓𝐘𝐒. Today, I just want to talk to you about the glamorization of simplification. There's a lot of that out there on ADD, a lot, particularly on Instagram and TikTok. They glamorize, it's really not going to take a whole heck of a lot of effort. You just do just 5 things that you have to do for 5 minutes a day, and you're going to be there. The reason I'm doing this is I think that it's seductively easy to fall prey to that, particularly if you have ADHD. Here's the deal. ADHD is not a deficit of attention. It's an executive functioning impairment. I'm going to repeat. It's an executive functioning impairment. My eyesight is impaired. I use an accommodation, glasses, in order to read. An impairment has an impact on your behavior. You can't always change your behavior when the underlying impairment needs an accommodation. And so the reason I'm saying that it's an impairment is most people don't realize it's more of a thinking impairment than you realize, because planning, after all, is thinking. Time management is actually thinking. Prioritization is the act of thinking, right? The notion of a tip, trick, or strategy or an app is just a tool to aid you in the thinking process. It doesn't actually do the thinking itself. And the glamorization of many of these apps and these tips and tricks basically remove the notion that you might actually have to engage in the thinking part. If you recognize it is about thinking and these are to help you, you need multiple things to problem solve what you're doing. And so thus, looking for that one tip or that one trick that's going to resolve the world. I tell people, if you're coming to me from coaching and you want a tip, trick, or strategy, as if I've got that secret that's eluded the ADHD community for years, decades, I don't really have it because there's not one. And so my point really is, be careful. Don't fall into this trap, this glamorization that ADHD is all a piece of cake. It's difficult. My mother once said, admit what's hard. If you admit what's hard, you're now giving it the respect it deserves. If you say that it's easy and it's actually really hard, you're disrespecting it and you're not doing the things that you need to do. So my point really is respect ADHD. It's difficult to deal with, all right? Doesn't mean you can't live a fulfilling life, but quit looking for the glamorization of that simple trick that's going to change the world, all right? It comes down to problem solving. All right. I hope this is going to help some of your mindsets out there. Maybe have an aha and catch yourself that you're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram looking for that one thing that's going to solve the problem, where you found yourself diving into, I don't know, some app or some theory, and you spend days and weeks learning it and you don't actually use it. And it was touted to be this huge universal solution, but you find yourself spending more time learning this stuff that doesn't work. So anyway, with that, if you're new to our channel, hit the subscribe button. We always like your comments. With that, hit the thanks button if you want to make a contribution. We certainly appreciate that. With that, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.